Good morning, everyone. So today we are coming to another chapter of our research paper, Biostatistics. So far, I have covered until topic 5, that is collect, record, and collate the data. Today's topic is collect, record, and collate the data. Um, Earlier, I discuss about sampling techniques, and sample size estimation. In fact, the last lecture I covered a bit on topic 5. I also talked about method of collecting data. All right. So today's class, I will be talking about quantitative and qualitative data, which is very important, and characteristics of a good measure. So this is what is going to be about our topic 5. And let's see how much I can cover. And I will be also uploading all my PowerPoint in our GC. Yeah. All right. So based on the syllabus given, so I'm going to start with characteristic of the good research. Yeah. How do you consider the research, as a good measuring instrument? What are the qualities? The development of a test of any kind always require the careful consideration of qualities of a good measuring instrument, because your instrument is going to answer your objective. So if your tools that you use are not answering your objective, that means I can consider that it's not a successful research, because you are asking one thing but you are discovering something. So it does not tally. So if you want any test to be effectively developed, it should be carried the qualities of a good test. If I want to test you, how good have you acquired? How good are you in the research? How much have you learned about doing research? So of course my test must be towards that. So the instrument that I use, like what PIDC is doing, is very good, because the instrument they're using, that how they want you to do a research. From the research you do, they can know how much you have learned about doing a proper research. So if I give you a test, if I give you a test, to test on how good you are, maybe theoretically you will be good. Theoretically you'll be good. But when it comes to the practical side, you would not be so good. So the instrument here, for your research paper, you have to produce a research paper, right? You have to produce a research paper, right? Validity. So validity is the most important quality of a good measuring instrument. It refers to the degree which a test measure what it intend to measure. Are you measuring what you want to measure? Is it usefulness of the test for a given measure? So a valid test is always reliable. How many times you do, you still get the same answer. So if you are asked to do, when you do a postgraduate course, you are asked to do a research, you can still do the research, because you have done in undergrad, because it's valid. The validity is there, right? Reliable. So we can rely on you to do another research later on. The liability of handwriting, skills in writing, use the sentence structure are some factors that affect the validity of the test. We have a lot of issue here to see the validity of the test. Right. So when you present, your proposal, from there we can see whether your instrument, is it really measuring your research question, is it valid or not. Okay, skills in writing. When writing a research paper is totally different from writing a narrative. A narrative. writing a story is totally different. You will be using a lot of technical terms, and these technical terms you need to define. In a real research, you need to define. When you say knowledge, what is knowledge? You need to define. So you have a lot of technical terms. That's what makes the research paper not so interesting among a common readers. Right. Method of validating a test. So I want to know my test is valid or not. How? There are at least 4 methods of by which we can establish the validity of a given test. These are by judgment of competent teachers, usually 3 or more experts in the field. Okay, so when you give the instrument um, to your lecturers or people who are already in this field for many years, like 10 years. So when they look at the instrument, they will know, whether are your questions valid or not in the field. So if dentistry, you're questioning about dentistry, so your dentistry lecturer will be looking at the content wise, whether is it appropriate or not. By correlating the result of the test score against an outside valid criteria. That means you do the test and then you compare with already valid results. So you compare, So that way is also a validation. Um, by computation of the percentage of student who got the right answer, both upper and lower groups. So you give to 2 different groups and then you see whether their understanding is the same or not. And the 4th one is by factor analysis. Factor analysis is using a software, by factor analysis, which will tell you um, whether these questions are really testing on your research question. Nah, that is a very good way of testing our validity. Okay, now we go to reliability. Just now was validity. Validity also we have different type of validity. Face validity, content validity. I will not go so deep into that. Right. Reliability. Reliability is the second important quality of a good measuring instrument. So for our measuring instrument, 2 things must be valid and must be reliable. Remember these 2. It refers to the consistency and accuracy of the test result. If the test measured exactly the same degree each time it's administered, the test is said to have high reliability. You do how many times or so, you get the same result. So you say the instrument is reliable. Increasing its length or item. That means you have a lot, item is a lot of questions. All right. I want to tell, my research question is face to face. Increase the performance of the students. All right. So here, face to face, and I'm going to increase the performance. So now I give a lot of questions about performance. So the questions here, a lot of items on performance. So increase the length of item may raise the reliability of the test. So if we have more questions, the reliability is high. So you don't give very few questions, 3 or 4 questions on performance. So it might not really be reliable. But sometimes try to avoid negative questions. Some would give positive and negative. Positive and negative. I come for my class 10 minutes earlier. I do not come for my class 10 minutes earlier. So this is positive, one is negative. So sometimes we want to check on how sincere they are answering. Sometimes students simply, the respondents simply answer. So first question is positive. They say, I come 10 minutes earlier. Second question, I do not come. Also, they say yes. Then we know they are not reading the question. They're just simply ticking the questions. Or another way, I'm not very sure of the term used here. In between, you put a question which is not relevant to the research question. For example, pink is my favorite color. So from there, you will know that whether they are really reading your questions or not. Yeah, of course, later when you do analysis, we take out that kind of questions, yeah, which is not related to our research. So clear and concise direction would also increase the reliability of the test. So your questions must be very straightforward, must be very clear, especially when you do translation or you give bilingual. Yeah, when you give bilingual, you must it must not be a direct translation. It must be carrying the same meaning. Yeah? Students do ask me, can we do the translation into Mandarin? Yeah, no problem. You can do any language because our aim here is that we want to get the correct. We want to, what do you say, acquire the correct answer. Yeah, we want to get the satisfaction of the instrument that we use. So it doesn't matter, but make sure this is where your validity comes in. So when you do translation, maybe your content lecturer could not be seeing that. So for that, you must get another person who is considered good in the language. If you are doing translating to Bahasa, then you must make sure that a person who's well versed in Bahasa is validating your questionnaire, right? All right. Methods of determining reliability. Just now was how you do your validity. All right. There are at least 3 methods. Just now was 4, here is 3. These are correlating the result of the test which was administered twice to the same student at a different time. For example, you give the questionnaire today, then after a week, you give back the same questionnaire and you see whether it has any relationship or not, correlation or not, right? By comparing the result of the test with those of a reliable test that has been done before, when you adapt a questionnaire, this questionnaire has been done before. So when you see the reliability of your test and their test, then you can see, yeah, how far the instrument is good. Okay, by correlating the student of the results of the test which was administered once to the student, in the case of correlation of the test conducted once, the results are divided and broken into 2 sheets which may be done based on a certain criteria. Okay, you have 20 questions there, so you split the question to 10 and 10. And then you test the reliability of the 10 questions and you test the reliability of another 10 questions. So you have 2 sets here and see whether the reliability is still high. Okay, so for reliability, we have the program in SPSS. So we run the program in SPSS, we can get the reliability. Your reliability should be 0.8 and above. It's considered good, 0.8. Yeah. So when I say 0.8, I cannot simply make a statement. Who said this 0.8 is accepted in the research? This is where your citation comes in. Yeah. Let's say you get your reliability 0.6. Okay, when you get 0.6, you have to throw away some questions which affects your reliability. Okay, then you can do the test again, reliability again, and then you check the answer. Let's say you get 0.7. Okay, 0.7. If 0.7 reliability, you must go and look at a literature review to show that 0.7 is an accepted value in the research. That's when your citation comes in. So that's why we cannot make a sweeping statement. Yeah, we must always have a reference. Then only your research become stronger. Yeah, the strength will be increasing. All right. Um, Objectivity. It refers to the degree to which personal judgment is eliminated in scoring of the test, to avoid a biasness lah here. Yeah. Therefore, objectivity is the test required. The personal opinion of the teacher does not affect the score of an individual. When we are doing research, definitely there will be a tendency to be biased, because we are always thinking about how to improve, yeah, how to make our research successful. So the biasness will be there. So for that, the test should be such that different teachers can similarly score the test and arrive at the same score, especially for qualitative research. When you do a transcript, uh, um, you are looking for certain words. Yeah, certain words. When you look out for certain words, you might be misguided. Yeah, misguided through the interview. So you need to get 2 or 3 people to compare the value. Yeah, how valid or how objective is your answer. All right. In other words, the more objective the test, the greater is the reliability. Okay. And another thing is that when you do the test or you do your questionnaire, you want to make it easy to access, accessibility. You want to increase the accessibility. So instruction should be clear, simple, direction should be given to the students or to the respondent, yeah? And the scores. All right. Scoreability, we try to do the test in a simple way and the quickest way possible. Yeah, we don't want to have a very prolonged instrument where people, students, or the correspondent becomes fed up. Yeah. Now, using Google Form is the best way. Yeah, and you can get your scores easily and very fast. And then another thing is comprehensiveness. Um, is a degree which a test contain fairly wide sampling. Yeah, your sampling should be widely spread because they represent the whole population. Interpretability, can you interpret, yeah, whatever quality of the test in which the test result can be easily, readily, properly interpreted. That is very important. Running the test is not so important. How you interpret the results, yeah. And of course, the cheapest way, in your proposal, you need to uh, present, yeah, is your research very economical. We try not to burden um, the uh, the researcher, right? So these are the characteristics of a good research. All right, now I'm going to the next one, which is quantitative research. Okay, quantitative. So I'm going to first I talk about qualities of a good research, and then now I'm going to talk about quantitative research. Then I'll be talking about qualitative research. Right. So quantitative research, okay, these are the content that I'm going to cover. Yeah. What is quantitative? Quantity. The word itself tells you quantity. Involve counting and measuring. We always do statistical tests to detect or confirm the trend. We are finding a trend here. Yeah. Maybe you are finding any relationship between 2 variables. Hours of study increases the performance of the student. There you are finding the um, relationship between 2 groups, 2 variables, right? So we normally do a statistical test. Purpose is to get a clear-cut, precise, and accurate result reflecting the situation under study. So we have two schools of thought. One school of thought, they reject totally quantitative research, yeah, because they say you don't really get to know the respondent. You just give them the questionnaire and then you analyze, yeah, and then you come up with the results. So here, the, there is a group of people don't agree with the quantitative research. They say it's nothing. You don't even know your respondent. Yeah. And sometimes you can also manipulate the data, right? But of course, we have one school of thought, they support the quantitative research. All right. So now you'll be wondering, which is the best method? Definitely, it depends on your research question. Some research question, you cannot do a quantitative study. Yeah. Some research question, you need to do a qualitative study, especially when you're going to try to answer the question, why? What? Yeah. That kind of question, you need to do a qualitative research. For example, I want to know how well the respondent know about green technology, for example. Yeah, how much the person knows. So here I can do a qualitative research because I'm going to do an interview. I'm going to ask how deep is their knowledge, right? So to me, if you mix qualitative and quantitative, it will be a better mode of research where qualitative will support your quantitative. Yeah, that is the trend now. It's a mixed mode. Yeah. And why people don't like to do qualitative? Qualitative, you need to collect a lot of data. You need to have a very rich data. Yeah? And you need to be have a follow up for a longer period of time for a qualitative research. Yeah. And for the quantitative research, um, most of the time you will be using a questionnaire. That is the popular tool. Yeah. So questionnaire. Just now we're talking about what is a good research. Yeah. So questionnaire, you must have the questions which are related to your survey. Yeah. Use previous study or experts' advice. Define the research question and your objective. Whatever it is, we always go back to our research question. Define the study population and the sample size, which I already covered earlier. Develop a preliminary questionnaire. That means you cannot we have adaptation and adaptation. Yeah. If you do adaptation, you're taking the questionnaire. Yeah. Maybe you're taking a questionnaire from 3, 4 sources, and then you combine to give you a new questionnaire where you have combination of 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Then you have a new questionnaire, and then you do a test, a preliminary questionnaire, you do a pilot test. Okay, a master student asked me, where can I find a questionnaire on this research topic? Definitely, on your research, your objective of study, you cannot get one questionnaire exactly matches with your question, your research question. No way. Yeah, no way. You have to do a adaptation, especially when it comes to master's level and all that. Yeah, adaptation. But when you do adaptation, you just adopt, just like adopt a child. You just adopt. That means you just accept the thing, the question as it is. You can use this for a survey. So when you do adaptation, for your case, I will suggest that you do a adaptation. That means you take the questionnaire, yeah, you can eliminate some questions, yeah, eliminate some question, and then you can make it to a bilingual. Right. After doing that, you cannot straight start with your research. You need to see whether your questions are reliable, although you take adaptation, because these questions were taken from overseas, right? Most of it are overseas questionnaires, instruments. So you need to see whether the questions adapt to our environment or not. So you need to do a pilot test. All of you need to do a pilot test. Remember. So pilot test, you need 30, minimum 30 samples. 30 sample. After you give them the instrument, you collect, and then you must check on the reliability of the question, which we can run in the SPSS to find out the reliability. You must get 0.8 and above. If you get 0.6, 0.7, still accepted. Accepted, but you do a citation who said this can be accepted. All right. So after you develop a questionnaire, pre-test the questionnaire, yeah, and then when you do a questionnaire, sorry, you need to give the respondent some assurance that you're collecting the data for the purpose of the study only. Yeah. And if you're emailing to them, you must tell them when is the deadline, yeah, when to return. And then you must tell that it's only for the research purpose, not for anything else. So you need to have a cover letter. If you are using mail, which people don't use nowadays, yeah, you need to have this Cosmo lah, yeah. Last time you used to do that self-addressed envelope, and as you know that normally even a wedding invitation also Malaysians, they don't like to reply, yeah. Imagine research, yeah. Follow up letter for non-respondent. Okay, so these are the proper steps lah, right? So you have a questionnaire, you can mail to them, you can make it to web-based, you can give to groups, you can email them, you can interview. So for interview, you don't have to prepare another set of questions. Yeah, the interview here, you can still use back the same question. From there, you just extract some question which you think that can be used as a interview question. Yeah, advantage, you can get a broad coverage. It can be local, can be national, can be international. Right? Frank and anonymous answer. That means people do not know you, so they can respond. Yeah, respond without fear, without biasness. Yeah. But Malaysian on the whole, normally they will try to please the respondent. When you give a Likert scale 1 to 5, most of them, the answers will be skewed towards 4, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 3, 4, 5. Economical for large population, less time consuming. Doing a questionnaire, easy to analyze. Yeah, and filling at a convenient time. Whenever they are free, they can respond to your question, compared to the one that you see face to face. Yeah, you give them 20 minutes, they have to sit down there and fill your questionnaires. So easy to respond. Good for sensitive and ego related question. Of course, don't give any sensitive kind of question. Yeah. Original, hard to obtain data. Some of the question difficult to get the sincere answer, right? Disadvantage, sometimes they don't understand what is your question, they simply give answer, so you cannot clarify. Yeah. Inadequate motivation, I don't know the person, why must I waste my time, yeah, to respond? To avoid that, normally you see there is a survey, people will try to give some voucher, something, a gift, a pen, something small lah, yeah. It comes with a bonus, something small, that a gift you can give to motivate them. Poorly worded, sometimes the questionnaires are, that's why you need a content validity. You need to give to someone who can see to your wordings, whether the wordings are correctly put. Unattractive style and format, low response rate, especially emails, very low response rate. I've talked about that before. Inaccurate responses, no verification. It depends on the sincerity of the respondent. If they are sincere, okay. If they're not sincere, that is another story. Yeah. Limited fixed response. Questionnaire, you already give them the choice there. So even they have any other thing on mind, they can't put it in. Yeah. Limited fixed respondent. Cannot uncover causes or relationship, yeah, belief, yeah, attitude, action. Causes, yeah. You can know that they have poor attitude, maybe like for recycling, they have very poor attitude. But the causes you cannot find out. So for causes kind of question, why they are doing that, you need a qualitative research, right? A question. What kind of question you can put in the questionnaire? You can put on factual, age, gender, education level, experience. You want to investigate relationship. Yeah. Uh, boys perform better in mathematics. This is a gender kind of question. Age. For psychology question, as a person, older person have more wisdom compared to a younger person. So age, you finding a relationship. Education, SES, social economy status, is highly related to quality of life. So you're finding a relationship between education level, education level and your social economy status. There is a relationship, and it has a relationship with quality of life. Okay. Experience, year of experience makes educator more patient. Yeah? So this kind of question you can use for um, our questionnaire. What a respondent know about a given topic. You want to know about okay, normally they do this for marketing. Yeah, marketing. For example, you want to get a laptop. Okay, you want to get a laptop. You went to straight away to get HP. Why? How do you know about HP? Yeah. So that kind of question, right? Attitude to obtain about respondent belief, feeling, value. Do you agree with the current copyright law is fair? Yeah. Belief. Normally when you have the belief, okay, why people, for example, we take a daily life, why motorists do not like to wear helmet? They have the helmet but they put in the basket, they don't wear on the head. Why? The helmet is there. It's not you cannot afford to buy helmet. The helmet is there. Or wearing a safety belt, why do not wear safety belt? Yeah, why? Until you have to have a signal in the car, the alarms goes off when you don't wear a safety belt. Why? It's there. Because they don't believe. You don't believe. They don't believe the helmet can save their life. So the belief is here. That is the reason. No other reason. Why you don't want to wear a safety belt? The safety belt you don't believe can save your life. If you believe it can save your life, yeah, then you'll be wearing the belt. Okay, helmet also same. They do not tie up. They just let it hanging because they don't believe. That is the very simple thing. Yeah. So you want to obtain the info about the respondent belief, feelings, or values. Self-perception. Self-perception. How active are you in the community work? Social service. Why do some people they are so involved in the community work? Is it something to do with the religion? Yeah, is it something to do with the religion? For example, when there is a community work, yeah, social service, we see that a lot of Buddhists, yeah, they are very involved in community work. This is my perception. Yeah, I'm not saying anything, I'm just telling my perception. So this is self-perception, right? How will you describe the computing skills? These are your perception. You know the answer the best, right? Standard of action. How do you respond, yeah, in a situation, right? uh, will you join the organ donation society? That kind of question lah. Projective kind of question. Indirect manner, by imposing their feeling, attitude, belief on others. Are the students happy with their grading schemes? These are projective kind of questions. Right. Structure and unstructured questions also you can ask the respondent. Unstructured means you leave them a open-ended question. But sad to say, normally our respondent will not give any, because this part you're giving your own opinion. Your own opinion. Very few will answer that part. Yeah, I'm talking about Malaysian society. Yeah. Right. Like this, difficult to analyze respondents, because when you give open-ended question, it's more difficult to analyze. Yeah, usually low response rate, as I told you. All right. Okay, structured. Structured, we have dichotomous, yes, no, agree, do not agree, multiple choice. Yeah. Uh, are you happy with the canteen food, cafeteria food? Yeah. So these are the type of structured questions that you can ask, whether it's effective or not effective. Yeah. And the most popular one is the Likert scale type. Yeah, you have a ranking here that contains predetermined unit of measurement. Uh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Totally agree will be 5. Totally disagree will be 1. So you have a scale there, right? In their opinion. Either frequently or not frequently. You skip class. Yeah, that kind of question. Symmetric difference scale provide a set of bipolar adjective pairs. Yeah. This one is not so, yeah, like that. Yeah. Okay, next one, scaling, rank. Yeah. All these are type of questions that you can rank. So marketing, they like to do this kind of ranking, yeah, ranking kind of question. You think which is the best way to study? Is it by using uh, PowerPoint, using portal, yeah, using quiz? So when you do a question, start with the opening question, easy and non-threatening question. Then you follow according to your research topic. Sensitive question only after the trust is developed. That means don't straight away ask a question which is sensitive. Yeah, sensitive here also we have few criteria of sensitive. How sensitive is the question? Yeah. Sensitive questions are you do not attack certain group lah. Yeah. You cannot attack any group with a questions. Right. Difficult question should be asked at the end. Personal data will be followed the last. Yeah. Don't ask personal data in the early stage lah. Right. So objective, each objective must have each questions lah. You have 3 objective. So objective 1, you must have few question, 5 question maybe. Objective 2, 5 question. Objective 3, 5 questions. Yeah, that will make up your questionnaire. All right. So that is about our quantitative study. Actually, we can have more on that, but I only talk about which is relevant lah. Yeah, which is relevant. Which you will be using in your research. Right now, I go to the next part, which is qualitative research. Okay, qualitative research. Qualitative data is a data that is not easily reduced to numbers. So we try to answer question what, how, why, rather than how many or how much. Qualitative data, it normally describes the qualities and characteristics. Yeah? We can also use questionnaire. Still, we can use questionnaire, interview, observation, yeah, and frequently appears in a narrative form. So I told you that we have 2 schools of thought, quantitative and qualitative. Yeah. For quantitative, there is no such thing as qualitative data. They totally reject. For qualitative kind of kind of thoughts, yeah, they always talk about all research ultimately has a qualitative grounding. You always go back to qualitative. Yeah. So who said that? Fred said qualitative, quantitative told by Campbell. Yeah, different approach, but you arrive at the same destiny. Yeah. Right. So you develop a concept, yeah, concept which help us to understand the phenomena in natural. We try to get the answer in a natural setting, giving emphasis to the meaning, experience, and view of the participants. Okay. Dimension of qualitative method. Qualitative method, you must understand the content, you must understand the people, you must understand the interaction. But I from my observation, PIDC students do not like to do the qualitative method. But I always try to encourage them at least do a bit of qualitative. How? by giving interview questions, yeah, by interviewing your patients. That will help a lot. Yeah, help a lot. So what is the difference between basic differences between quali and quanti? Quali, you try to describe the situation. Yeah. Um, no predetermined responses. That means you going with a clear mind, an open mind. You are getting the input through your data. All right. In-depth explanatory data. As I told you, very in-depth. Very in-depth. Analysis, draw out pattern from the concept. So how you analyze? From the pattern of the answer. You are looking for your answer through their answers. So there will be a little bit of biasness to me lah, yeah. A result, illustrative explanation and individual responses, and sampling is theoretical. You are based on theory. Yeah, based on theory. Sometimes from the qualitative data, you are trying to build a grounded theory, which will be very good. Yeah, but of course, it's all this time consuming. So quantitative, I already covered just now. You can just look at the different sampling. Qualitative, it is less structured, depend on the interactive or the interviews. That is your tool, yeah, your tool or your instrument, yeah. Okay, result. Qualitative produce results that give meaning, experience, and view. We do our qualitative. What is so important? Concept in designing. What is the main thing here? You are doing in a natural setting. The whole is more than the sum. You're looking holistically, whole, on the whole, yeah, not on one part, right? Human as a research instrument, you are having what, not a relationship. It's more like you are closer to the respondent, but you're not supposed to have a relationship with the respondent. Yeah, remember that. Normally, this kind of research will tend to make the researcher, yeah, get very close to the respondent, yeah. um, and when to stop, when to stop to collect the data, when you feel your data is saturated, there is no more new information, no more information, you already got all the information that you want, you are getting back the same response, then you know your data is already saturated, yeah. So these are the common qualities. Study design, which most of the time under medical you'll be doing case study. Yeah, case study like you want to investigate how good is your service to your patient. So when case study, you cannot have so big group. Qualitative, normally a small number. So when you do a case study, maybe 5 or 6, because you must remember case study will take a longer period of time. So in between there will be dropouts. Yeah. So sampling, um, size is always a small sample. Yeah. So we have sampling technique here. Snowball sampling, friend, like that. You're studying about alcoholic. So this alcoholic will recommend another friend who's also alcoholic. So that one is called as snowball sampling. Yeah. Case sampling, homogeneous sampling, maximum variation sampling, convenience sampling. In PIDC, we do convenience sampling because the patients are there. It's already convenient, so we are doing convenience sampling. Opportunist sampling. These are techniques in qualitative research. All right. So here I have covered just now. Okay. When you collect your data, you will transcribe word by word. Yeah, transcribe. Yeah. So what you hear, you have to write down, or you do recording. Yeah, and also you have to look at non-verbal expression. Yeah, non-verbal expression. Non-verbal means their face expression. When they say also you must write down Okay, say they sigh. So with the sigh, so you have to write. Yeah. So you have to look at the non-verbal expression. Try to do the transcripting yourself. Be patient and time consuming, of course. Yeah. So when you analyze, how do you analyze? We have two type of approach: deductive approach and inductive approach. This approach I have talked before in my earlier slides. Yeah. So I tell you some of them are related from one topic to another topic. Yeah. All right. Um, Points of focus in analyzing their data. Qualitative data are more difficult to analyze compared to quanti. Quanti, you just put into the SPSS, it will analyze for you, then you do the interpretation. But for your quali, it's not like that. Yeah, it is more time consuming and you need experts. Yeah. Like qualitative, you begin with a more general open-ended question, moving towards greater precision and more informative images, right? So here you are starting with a very open-ended question and you must get a respondent. As a whole, Malaysians, they don't like to talk so much. Yeah. So when you ask one question, they'll give you one answer, then finish story. So here you must have the ability or the skill to dig some more. If you are good at that, then you become a very good qualitative kind of person. There are some people who are very clever at digging stories. So you have to dig and dig and dig, right? And no prefined variables. Maybe you are going with an open mind. Yeah. Preliminary analysis is so you have to analyze the thing part by part. Yeah. No formal way. But we have some tools to help you lah. Yeah. To analyze the data. They have some software. NVivo is a software which will help you to organize. They don't analyze for you, help you to organize your data, right? So when you look at the qualitative data, you must look out for the themes. That is the thing. Themes. The themes keep on emerging. Yeah. And then coding, you need to do coding. These are all very what do you call that, very detailed kind of thing. So I just let you know that these are the terms that we use in qualitative data. We have theory, we have themes, we have coding, yeah, we have indexing. So when you have your transcript, there will be few people will be looking at your transcript and they will be coming up with their themes and their codings, right? Like for example, you're talking about boredom. When you say you're bored, there are some characteristics will show you that you are bored. All right. For example, I do not like to attend that class. It's boring for me. So here it tells you you don't like to attend the class. That shows you are bored with the class. You see, it's all based on interpretation. I do not like to buy organic food. Okay, why I don't like to buy organic food? So when the person say it's expensive, yeah, I do not believe organic food is good for me. So these are the themes that coming in their response. It's not direct, sometimes it's hidden. That's why you need another person to look out for the themes for you, because there tends to be a biasness. All right. So process of analyzing, organize your data, identify the framework, sort out the data in a framework, and then you do a descriptive analysis. Yeah. So how do you organize a data? Yeah. Now, identify a framework. You need to have a theory behind your research question. And then code the data. You can use a computer packages like NVivo, yeah, and then use the framework for descriptive analysis. So these are the steps lah in analyzing your qualitative analysis, and they have different type of analysis. Just like our quali, we have Mankowa, Ankowa, yeah, we have t-test, we have Pearson correlation, and so on. So for our qualitative also, we have content analysis, narrative analysis, discourse analysis, framework analysis, grounded theory. Yeah. So here you can see that how do you analyze each of the analysis, right? Since most of you will not be using this kind of analysis, so I just leave it to you to read up if you're more interested. Qualitative research generates rich information. This one you cannot deny. Yeah, it's very rich, informative, and you need to focus. You need to find what you want to find. Yeah, and it's very challenging. After that, the best part is writing. Yeah, writing out your research. Yeah, you must choose the correct format, and you must focus at where you want to focus. Yeah, your writing report also can be problem based, can be chronological, can be evidence based, can be analytical approach. Okay, so that's it's not you must understand that our topic here is very wide, so I narrow it down for you according to your syllabus. Yeah. Okay, so for our qualitative, we are just doing qualitative research. They have a format, right? You need introduction, method, result, conclusion, recommendation, acknowledgement, and references. So this is our lecture for today. Um, so please read up whatever I have uploaded, and please use that as as your reference for your research paper. Right? With this, I thank you. I will meet you again next week with topic number 6. All right. Until then, thank you and goodbye.